is the success of the AI tools, is that they are so easy and intuitive, right? So, but to be very specific, if you want to start just play with AI to create images, I mean, there's always the difference, obviously, because of still images and then moving images.
Yeah.
But like the very basic workflow, and what I tell you, if you want to start from zero.
Welcome back to All About AI's podcast. I am your host, Faiza Ehsan. Today on the podcast, I am joined by Florian Mimberg, AI director and storyteller, whose work has shaped both global and advertising modern microfilming. Thank you so much, Florian, for being here.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here and talk to you.
Great. So, for our listeners, I would like to let you know that he has spent 12 years creating international campaigns before moving into filmmaking, where his award winning Tiny Tales and micro movies have gained worldwide recognition. So, that's really great.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, I can also quickly summarize myself. My early background is in advertising agencies. So I was on the ad agency side. So I was the one of the people who made up the commercial before it was produced. And then at some point after doing that for 12 years, I think, I changed sides to the directing side. And now I've been directing commercials for almost 15 years already.
That's really impressive.
Yes, thank you.
So, Flan, when you look at filmmaking today, what's the biggest shift AI has brought into creative processes for you personally?
Well, I mean, we can all witness that every day, that it seems like everything is gonna be changing. There's this big wave just moving towards us, and what we are seeing now is only the beginning, the very beginning of a new era that I think we can surely say. So in my world, AI is already changing everything. For example, right now I'm working on 5 different AI film projects. And I just finished a classic one that I shot, but a very small one. But other than that, in my world, it has totally shifted towards AI. A reason for that might be that in my market here in Germany, I still seem to be one of the few people who really went so deep into this topic that I can make films on a certain level. And there isn't so many people doing that on a certain level, which is why so many people come to me right now.
That's amazing. So, was there a moment when you realized, okay, AI isn't just a tool anymore? It's now a part of my creative workflow.
That went pretty fast. When when it all started with Midjourney and stuff back then, and as soon as those tools came, I was instantly looking at them and trying them out. And of course, like in the same moment, realized, wow, this is gonna change everything. Of course, when you generate stuff, or like when you did 2 years ago, it was still a whole different level of realism and stuff. But once I noticed how fast all those tools are evolving, then it was very soon very clear to me that this is gonna change everything.
That's really interesting. The way you describe that moment is real power of, realization.
Yeah, it was it one single moment? It probably was. It was probably when the first prompt I wrote turned into an image. That was probably the moment. Yeah.
That's great. So, how has AI changed the way you approach idea development or your visual experimentation in your films?
Well, actually on every level, right? So when in my world as a commercial director, how it works is you have to pitch for every single project you do. That means, just very summarized quickly, that the advertising agency is writing the commercial, selling the commercial to the client, And then they start the so-called pitch, meaning they call 3 or 4 different production companies, and each production company goes into the pitch with one director, right? So I'm competing against 3 or 4 other directors on this project. And then the first important thing I have to do is to create my director's concept. Nowadays, I mean, I've been doing this for a while, right? Like 25 years ago, when I, more or less 30 years ago, when I started in the industry, a director's concept for a commercial was like 2 or 3 pages of text and 2 pictures. Today, a director's concept is 50 pages of a fucking high glossy magazine type presentation, like a perfect visually highest level. So whole different world. And this director's concept I have to create. Usually I do get a little help of an art director I know that I've been working, a girl that I've been working with for many years, who does some of the image research, like for the mood worlds you have to create, like moods to like show the people that how the commercial should look like and stuff. And this is quite some work. So that the director's concept itself takes me like a week of really heavy work, day and night, depending on how big it is, right? And in this phase already, in the very first thoughts, very first pre-visualizations of what I'm about to do, AI comes in, right?
Yeah.
So up to now, you researched mood pictures from the web. You just went into the web and researched like certain visual language styles and stuff. And you still do. I still do that. But now you have this extra level of creating those moods yourself with AI. And the good thing on this, and especially it gets better every single day. I mean, when Nano Banana came out, game changer. So now I can myself create totally consistent visual worlds. Up to now, the trick was always to find moods that you can stick together that then in the end show you like a more or less consistent visual direction you want to go in, right? Now it's totally consistent because I have the control. I have the 100% control of what every image looks like. And this is a totally different game already in the very first phase when I do my director's concept. And now the film that we're talking about can still be either AI generated or totally classically filmed, right? So AI is already part of my daily work in everything I do. Also, when it comes to the writing, there is a lot of directors actually have ghostwriters who write their concepts for them. I never did that, could never ever do it. I need to write it myself because for me, while I'm writing, I understand the film. And my vision comes to life while I am actually writing about the film and the film itself, right? So this is something I could never give away, but nowadays I still do that. I write, and when I'm done writing, I give it to ChatGPT and tell him, please read it, and please tell me where can we even make it better here and there. Little tweaks, little polishing, right? But the core is still
human-based,
So, yes, yeah. So yeah, AI for me is part of my whole day, from day to night, even in pre-production.
That's amazing. That's really interesting. I must say your perspective here genuinely open up a new way of thinking about experimentation. So that's really amazing.
True, because it gives you the possibility to even experiment, right?
Yeah.
To experiment, you need ingredients, you need stuff to play around with. And now with AI, that stuff is infinite.
Yeah,
You can create it yourself.
that's amazing.
So yes, much more room for experimentation, indeed. Yeah.
So do you feel AI is expanding creativity or just speeding up what was already possible?
This has so many levels, this question, right? So of course, there is the people that are afraid that AI will somehow replace creativity, which is bullshit. It doesn't. It won't ever. The contrary is true, I think. I think it triggers your creativity even. So the creativity can even grow with the help of AI.
Yeah.
But what was your original question? Sorry.
Do you feel AI is expanding creativity or just speeding up what was already possible?
Oh yes, it is totally expanding creativity because, as I just said, all of a sudden you have so many more possibilities to explore stuff and to experiment around, like you said. So yeah, it's totally expanding creativity. The creativity itself needs to be the core still. And today that is even more important than ever before. Right? Because the core of an emotional idea, that's nothing an AI can do. AI can make it look awesome, right?
Yeah.
It can make you like 200,000 variations of what you created in your head. But the core idea is nowadays with AI even more important to shine through.
That's such a thoughtful take. I must say that.
What's that?
That's such a thoughtful take.
Yeah.
So, for someone who wants to try AI in storytelling but doesn't know where to begin, what's the simplest starting point?
The simplest starting point is just do it, because seriously, all those tools are so easy. This is the success of the AI tools, is that they are so easy and intuitive, right? So, but to be very specific, if you want to start, just play with AI to create images. I mean, there's always the difference, obviously, because of still images and then moving images.
Yeah.
But like the very basic workflow, and what I tell you if you want to start from zero is go to Midjourney and start prompting. Write a prompt and Midjourney will give you an image. That's it. It's that easy. And then you will be sucked into the tunnel anyway and play around. And what happens if I write the prompt a little differently? And you instantly have the result. You instantly have the result in the same second. And this is why it's so easy, right? And then in the longer term, when you want to do film, the basic workflow that has more or less developed into the workflow that most people are doing is the so-called image to video workflow.
Yeah.
Meaning you create an image, for example in Midjourney or in one of the hundreds of other tools there are, and then you take this image and stick it into another tool, Kling for example, or Dance or Sky Reels, there's so many, into an image to video tool, meaning you give the tool a still image, then you write another prompt and you write down how that image should move. So you have an image of a person, put it in and write the prompt. The man is, I don't know, laughing, turning around and walking away. Click, there he goes. And you have a film clip of 5 seconds or 10 seconds. And then you do many film clips and you edit them into your first movie. Also, technically very simple. Creatively, and this is always something we need to keep in mind, right? When I go online and see people posting their stuff, everybody's always like, here, I did this film in 20 minutes and it cost $10. That's not what it's about.
Yeah.
Show me the film. What's your story? What's the idea behind it? This is so much more important, because doing it and transforming an idea into images or moving images is as simple as never before. But what the story is becoming so much more important.
That's very grounded perspective, I must say. So, what mistakes do beginners usually make when experimenting with AI, and especially in creative projects?
Businesses, you mean?
Yeah, businesses are beginners, you can say.
Yeah, I mean, what mistakes? I wouldn't even call it mistakes, because the whole world is still so new. Yes, I've been doing this for 2 years, right? Every single day, from early morning till late at night, I'm prompting, and doing films and images and stuff. So yes, I seem to be one of the few people in my bubble in Germany that is on a certain level doing this, and that also earns money for doing it. I do films for clients that pay me good money for creating AI films for them. Are the clients making mistakes? I wouldn't call it mistakes, because for them, it's also even newer than for me. Yes,
Yeah.
right? 2 years ago, it was just as new for me, because it was just knocking at my door and there it was. So there is clients that are more careful. There's also clients that say, I don't want to use AI because my brand has like very human values. And that wouldn't fit to the DNA of my brand, because my brand stands for being very human. So I don't even want to use AI. Okay, fair enough. And then there's brands that say, one example is in my world Persil, like the big Henkel washing detergent brand, one of the biggest German brands there is. And they said, we want to be with the products we're doing since hundreds of years, we were always the innovative, right? They were the inventor of the first washing detergent powder. They invented it. So it's a brand that stands for innovation. So now they also wanted to be the innovative brand that's the first one to create an AI-generated campaign. So we created a campaign, very complex, month of work. It's just one of the films is already final and on air. You can also show it if you want to.
Persil alles angefangen mit einer weißen Dame und einer großen Idee. Seitdem hat sich vieles gewandelt. Und wir durften immer an eurer Seite sein. Dafür sagen wir Danke mit unseren Besten für Persil alles angefangen mit einer weißen Dame und einer großen Idee. Seitdem hat sich vieles gewandelt. Und wir durften immer an eurer Seite sein.
It's a 20 seconds film. Right now we are finalizing the 60-second version of that film. But the small one, the short one, the 20-second is final, and that took months of work with a big team, because that's when you include it, you see it. It's like a time travel. There is Persil invented over 100 years ago. They invented the so-called lady in white. It was in the 1920s. And they invented this like a woman with a white dress in the 1920s that was always printed on those iconic clock towers in big cities. So those towers are still there. If you travel through Germany, in the big cities, you still see those Persil clock towers in the cities, like a big green clock tower with that white woman, the illustration of that white woman printed on them, right? So everybody knows that. And in our film, the film starts in the 1920s in Berlin, and you have one of those clock towers with that white lady printed on it, and all of a sudden that white lady wakes up, becomes alive, steps out of the clock tower and starts walking as a real person. And then we follow her as she walks through the different decades in Germany, 1920s, 1950s, 1970s, 1989, you see the reunion. And from the 20s to the present, we follow her through the different decades. And that was, as you can imagine, very complex to create in AI because of so many reasons. One reason is that also, especially the client, and he's right, really wanted to make sure that everything we show AI generated, the film is 100% AI generated, everything we show needs to be accurate. Because as you know, nowadays the shitstorms wait around every corner, right? And if you show the people like the 1920s and then the building there in the back is not 20s architecture, whatever, then that gets tricky. So this is why we needed to make sure that everything we see is very accurate historically. And this is also a reason why this project was so complex. And this is also something that I like a lot when it comes to AI, because in this first phase, when we develop those visual worlds, I was working with real heads of department. So we hired a production designer that
That's
you usually have
amazing.
on a film set. Production designer that builds sets. I hired him before, so he can create mood boards for 1920s Berlin or 1950s Berlin with accurate moods, architecture, props, cars, everything that's a production designer's job. Everything that's not people in a film scene is production design. So he made sure that everything we show and prompt and stuff is historically accurate. The same we did with the stylist, with the fashion stylist, right? The lady in white. In every scene, she was wearing a different outfit. All white, but 20s,
Different one.
50s, 70s, right? So we had a real stylist that also supplied us with moods and stuff. And this for me is actually the best of both worlds, right? Be able to work with people, with real crew and stuff in certain departments, even though the final film is completely generated.
That's amazing. It sounds simple, but it's genuinely inspiring.
Thank you.
So you have been in ad world for over a decade, right? How do you see AI changing the structure of agencies and production teams?
That is gonna be one of the most interesting things to explore because, of course, I feel it in no matter who I talk to. Everybody is kind of nervous because everybody is realizing, wow, everything is shifting. The whole industry is shifting and we don't even really know into what direction and stuff. So everybody involved is somehow trying to find their space and trying to also redefine themselves. Production companies, for instance, are also I don't want to say panicking, but all the production companies are right now realizing, we also need to get into the AI world, right?
Yeah, that's
so
true.
then some of them, I don't know, officially all of a sudden on their website have this AI part. Here is our AI directors. We also can do AI. And everybody involved, agencies, production companies, are also, of course, looking for what's my first AI project that I can show, that I can hold up and say, see, industry, look, I also can do AI. So everybody is trying to get into it in different ways. Some production companies, for example, found new, sub companies just for AI stuff, So everybody is trying to be a part and to play along.
Yeah, that's true. So, what do you think about clients and brands? Are they excited, scared, or confused about AI generated commercials or films?
Yeah, that's like I said before, different, very different. Some are very open, like when I just talked about Persil, for example, seeing their own brand as an innovative brand and saying, yes, we need to be one of the first ones to walk in the front and do it, right? And then, like I said, there's other brands that say, I don't know, no, it doesn't fit to our brand. So it's a mixture of some are scared, some are careful, some are trying to really be innovators and leaders and be the first ones who do it. And this is really, really interesting to try and navigate through this world with so many different perspectives on what's happening.
Yeah, that's true. I must say you must have sharp observation.
Must have
So,
what?
sharp observation.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
you can react at the right time to
Yeah,
different people, right?
yeah. So, being an AI artist today, and you are officially listed as an AI artist, what does that title mean to you professionally and personally, in both ways?
Also good question, because also it's such a new realization. Yes, of course, it's cool that all of a sudden, I'm represented as an AI artist by this company or this company. On the other hand, I do not want people to forget that I'm also a film director, right? So if you have classical films to shoot, that's still me, please also. I'm not only the AI artist. It's for me personally, this is very important to tell and to show the people, yes, I can work with the tools. It's fun doing, right? I'm proud of the AI films I've made, but I am, and please don't forget that, also still a classic film director. So I'm also at the same time hoping that people don't forget that.
That's such a
That I'm
powerful
also
reflection.
part of the old world.
That's a really powerful reflection.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, so how do you balance your own artistic vision with the unpredictable nature of AI tools?
That's just a daily thing that just happens. Every day you, of course, you have to react to what the tools give you and offer, and then you're good with the tool and you're really deep into a tool, and all of a sudden, boom, there's the new update, or there's the new tool
That pops up.
that pops up on stage, and that seems to be even better than the other one. So you have to constantly adapt and keep up, and that's not easy to keep up with the speed in which everything evolves and develops, right?
Yeah, that's true. Not even keeping up with the pace, you also have to keep trying those tools to compare the results. So that's very, I think,
Very true.
competitive.
Very true. Yes.
So, what does the future look like for someone who wants to build a career as an AI artist? What skills, mindset, or courage do they need?
Well, the important question, because not only do we, like the old people from the old world, have to keep up with what is happening. For example, in Germany, the commercial directors of Germany have founded a union a couple of years ago, and I'm one of the founding members.
That's
We're
good.
called Direct, DRCT. Direct is the union of the German commercial directors, right? There's a couple of hundred of us in Germany. Most of them are members of that union. So there is much more than a couple of years ago. Also, we are communicating amongst ourselves, right? Talk to other colleagues and directors. And that's very interesting, is really two main groups. One group, and that for me still seems to be the smaller part, is very optimistic, open. Yes, okay, show me the tools. Let's start working with AI. Let's make AI films. And then there's also people that say, nah, not for me. Not for me. Can't do it. Maybe I've tried it, and it turned out that I don't know. If I couldn't just
Didn't turn out
didn't feel
the
like my
desired
thing.
result.
So I would rather just keep shooting the traditional way. Okay, fair enough. Everybody needs to decide that for themselves. I'm also saying though, be careful. I think as a commercial guy, when you're in commercials, in the commercial world, you need to understand the tools.
Yeah.
No matter if you work with them a lot or not, or just a little bit, because they will just step by step be part of the whole production process. For example, I was always one of my main genres in commercial was still the vignette films, right? Big beer brands. So you have a commercial with one scene on the roof terrace there in the sunset. Next scene, family scene on the beach. Next scene, I don't know, a circle of friends on a party. Like those films that always jump through different settings. This will be the first thing where AI starts, right? You have an establishing shot that usually, until today, was half a shooting day. You drive there some 2 hours out of town
Yeah.
to that beach just to shoot one single picture or one single scene. This will change. This will be production saying, wait guys, can't we do this one scene in AI? And this scene we shoot, and this maybe AI again. So AI will become part of the whole thing more and more.
Yeah,
So as a
that's true.
director, as a
And it
creative
saves
person
so much
involved,
time, right?
it does save time and money. Yes,
Of course, yeah, money.
if done right. But this is why, as a creative person, you need to at least know the tools and know when to use them, right?
Yeah.
And this I say to my colleagues that have been doing this a lot and that come out of the classic way of production. And the young people that are just starting, I would also say, be at home in both worlds. Know how a film is shot. Know how a camera works, right? Know how to direct actors, people that stand in front of a camera, right? But also know the AI tools,
Yeah.
because in the end, it's
all
going to be
AI.
a mixture. Maybe that's a good example of one of the current projects I'm working on right now. It's not final yet. We're in the final phase, but the film itself will only go live, I think, end of December or beginning of the year. But that was a big hybrid production. And hybrid productions, this is my dream scenario of where everything is going towards. By the way, I don't know why my camera, do you also see that, the zooming back and forth? And
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
I have this
I
plug in
am,
there.
yeah, I think
I have
that
this.
it's because of the hand gestures.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It's
So sorry for that.
no
This is my
problem.
computer that does that. Anyway, I was talking about this hybrid production I'm just doing. And this for me this is really the
Dreams
this
come
is my
true moment.
dream scenario of where this is going. So this is a commercial for it's a big supermarket chain, Spar, and they once a year they release like a sticker book where when you go to the supermarket you can collect those stickers and stuff and put them in that sticker album. It's very, very popular every year, right? And every year that sticker album is a different topic, and it's always like some world, some other fantasy-like world sometimes. So this time the topic is Vikings, right? And in the commercial, there's a woman, a celebrity, like a TV host that's very popular, with two kids, and they are traveling into this Viking world, right? For like a 50, 30, 40, 50-second commercial. And they are like transported, like beamed almost into this world. All of a sudden, they're on a ship on the ocean, and they see like, I don't know, whales jumping out of the water, or in one scene like there's like a pink octopus coming out of the water with the tentacles and stuff. So what we did is with the protagonists, like real people, casted people, one classic shooting day, because the story starts in the real world, in a living room, where they are like, putting stickers in the album and stuff, and all of a sudden, they get transported into the Viking world. So, one classic shooting day. Scouted living room location, 3 casted people, styling, clothes, production design, built a living room, everything like we've been doing since decades.
Yeah.
And then they get thrown into the fantasy world. So the second shooting day we made in a green screen studio. So in the studio, I built half of the ship with a production designer. I built a big ship that I put into the green screen studio, and then my protagonists, the real people on the ship in the studio. Now, all the backgrounds for the green screens and all the white shots I made in AI, right? And in post-production, we combine the worlds. The shot footage in the green screen studio where we had wind machines and stuff. So, I mean, them on the ship, obviously, real ship in the studio, real people on the ship in the studio, wind machines, because they're on the ocean, machines, like water, splashing real water and stuff, to then of course, combine the shot footage with my AI generated backgrounds. And this is technically, of course, very complex and takes time, but it works.
But
So
this
for me,
sounds
this,
really interesting. I'm
yeah,
really looking
because it,
forward to this commercial.
yeah, because it combines everything I love, right? I love working with people. I love being on film sets. I love traveling into different countries to shoot. And I love also getting to know new crew members, right?
That's amazing.
And this
And I hope this,
combined
yeah,
with the AI, this is the best.
yeah, that's great. And I hope it gives a clear direction for also new creators.
Yes, totally. Because in this world of hybrid productions, I think everybody can find their perfect spot, you know? If they are more into the VFX direction and prompting and visual AI worlds and stuff, or if they are more into the classic production process, those hybrid projects combine all this.
That's great. Your perspective here is genuinely motivating. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so lastly, we at All About AI have been exploring how brands stay visible across AI systems. From your experience, what does AI search visibility mean for creatives in advertising and filmmaking as well?
Yeah, as I said, I think for creatives in advertising and filmmaking, it means that I think it's important that you understand the the tools and how they work and what you can do with them, and then still in the end you still have to decide the how to use them and when to use them and when to not use them. This is still something. It's still the kaleidoscope of possibilities has just grown way bigger now. It's not like, we stop shooting and now it's only AI. No, it's a new door has opened
Yeah.
with new possibilities. Now we as creatives, more than ever before, have to decide what door to walk into and what to use. Maybe maybe different tools, maybe old tools, maybe new tools, and this is the exciting new time to combine all this.
That's a very valuable take. You connect creativity and discoverability in a meaningful way. So that's really amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I really appreciate your time in taking all the insights today. I hope you enjoy our conversation.
Very much so.
So that's great. So yeah, best wishes and take care. Good luck.
You too. Thanks for inviting me, and let's be in touch
Sure.
by in finalizing and stuff, right? So you